Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. I would like to give a special thanks to Homestead Hyundai for providing with the Hyundai Sonata inline. If you're in the market for a Hyundai, you can come check out Homestead Hyundai and ask for Nelson. He will get you into a new or pre-owned vehicle. As you guys can see right behind me here, this is the 2022 Hyundai Sonata inline. This is the most powerful production Sonata that Hyundai has ever made. Let's talk about the front styling here of the Sonata inline. As you guys can see, I love this white exterior paint with the black accents, and I love the long hood that this car has with the low aggressive stance. Looking at these headlights here, they do have this multi-reflector headlight with this automatic low and high beam with this LED turn signal and daytime running light. And this grille does have very sharp styling, also with the Hyundai emblem front and center that does house the driver's assistance. And there is the inline badge here in the grille as well. Like I mentioned, very sharp styling here from this grille. And this area here is going to be functional to put an air coat on the brakes and wheels. But I want you guys to comment down below in the comment section and tell me what you guys think about the front styling. Me personally, I think this car looks exactly like a catfish, and I think some people think the same about this car. But looking at the side profile here, the wheelbase here is at 111.8 inches with an overall length of 192.9. This is right on par with a Honda Accord, a Toyota Camry. So this is a really good size here in the mid-size sedan segment. Looking at these tires and wheels here, these are a 245/40 P0 tire. They're wrapped in this 19-inch rim design. And I love the rim design that Hyundai offers here, the Sonata inline. Really sharp styling here. I think this is one of the best rim designs that you can get on the Sonata, in my opinion. There's the inline badge here on the side fender with this blacked out mirror cap with this LED side marker, and I love the black roof here that Hyundai offers here. And this is a panoramic sunroof to let light into the cabin. As you guys can see, there's this fastback design here, and there's these little vortex generators here to give this car some downforce. And I love the integrated rear spoiler here. As you guys can see, looking at these taillights here, they're going to be an LED combination with an incandescent turn signal with an LED brake light, and the reverse lights live down here at the lower part of the bumper. And this also has quad tip exhaust with this aggressive rear diffuser here. This is how you guys can tell that this is the inline model. Besides the badging here, there's the Sonata name spelled out with the Hyundai emblem, also with this backup camera here. But to open up the cargo bag here, Hyundai has the button right here. Once you press this area here, the trunk will open and it reveals 16.7 cubic feet of space. So this is around on par with something like the Kia K5 GT and also the Honda Accord Sport 2.0. And the seats do fold down in a 60/40 manner. And underneath here is also this temporary spare tire instead of a fix-a-flat kit. And there is these hinges here to crush your cargo. But overall, let's hop into the interior of the Hyundai Sonata inline. Before getting into the interior of the Hyundai Sonata inline, looking at the key fob here, this is the same corporate key that Hyundai has been using. There's a lock, unlock, a trunk release, a panic button, and a remote start mode. But to engage the remote start mode, just lock the vehicle and hold the remote start mode down. And you guys can hear the car will turn on, and you guys will hear a little burble from the exhaust, just a little bit. But getting inside the interior of the Sonata here, Hyundai puts a sensor behind the door handle. Open up this interior here. Hyundai calls this interior a black on black interior, but to me personally, this looks like a gray interior. But I love the red stitching and red piping that this car offers. As you guys can see, the seats look really good. I love the way these seats look. These are unique to the actual inline model. You can't get these seats on any other Sonata. But getting inside the interior here, once you put your foot on the brake, it takes the car out of its remote start mode. But reaching over here to shut the door, the door sounds pretty solid. As you guys can see, there's this large 10.25-inch display here. It does support Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But looking at the materials here really quickly, give me a nice soft touch material. This also has the Bose audio sound system. There's some dark chrome trim here on the actual door panel. Nice red stitching here. There's your mirror, window, and lock controls here. It is auto up, auto down, only for the driver and passenger, but not for the back windows. Looking down, here's going to be additional storage and cup holder space. There's the hood latch down there. Over here is for the trunk release, the traction control, electronic parking brake, the lane keep assist, and the dimmer switch is there. This is a manual tilt and telescoping wheel. There's also paddle shifters here. This also has an 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission. There's the headlight and turn signal stock there. The wind wiper stock is right there. And this is a 12.3-inch display. You cannot get this on the Kia K5 GT. Kia does not offer a full digital display. I thought they would offer that for the 2022 model, but they don't offer that. So you will have to go for the Sonata if you guys want this digital display here, which is very bright and very crisp. and you can customize it pressing this here. It will show your driver's attention, also a compass, your driver support and whatnot. So you can customize the screen to your liking. Over here is going to be a nice soft touch material, but on top of the instrument panel, it's going to be a hard touch plastic. But behind the infotainment system, it's going to be a nice touch material here. There's some touch sensitive buttons here on this display. It looks very Mercedes-like in here, which I think is a nice look that this car has to it. There's only a volume knob. There's no tune knob. Surprisingly, I'm surprised that Hyundai didn't put a tune knob here in the Sonata. But like I mentioned, there's these touch sensitive buttons on the side. And the steering wheel here, still not a big fan. Even though I reviewed this car a couple of times before, I still do not like the steering wheel. I want you guys to tell me what you guys think about the steering wheel, but you can hold the steering wheel at really good angles here. But I want you guys to comment down below in the comment section and tell me what you guys think about the steering wheel. I'm still not a big fan of it, and there is this N badge down here at the lower part of the steering wheel, but you can hold the steering wheel at really good angles here. But to put the Sonata into reverse here, of course, put your foot on the brake and press the R here for reverse. You're greeted by this backup camera. The resolution is really good. There's also a trajectory with distance markers. There's no top-down 360 view here in the inline. You would have to look at another model if you guys want that top-down 360 view. To go into neutral, of course, click the N, and to go into drive, you can just click the D and click P to go into park. There's the N badge here on the shifter, and this also houses that 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission. There's 2 USB ports here. There's also a 12-volt. This does have dual climate control. There's only 3 level heated seats in here. There's no cool seats, so if you guys want cool seats, you have to look at a different trim level of the Sonata. There's also a wireless phone charger there, and it also has these little holes here because Hyundai does not want your phone to overheat when your phone is charging. There's 2 cup holders here and a nice area here to put your phone. There's your drive mode selector here, which shows you Sport, Sport Plus, and it turns off the traction control if you put the vehicle into a Sport Plus mode. There's also a custom mode. So there's 4 different drive modes, and there's normal here at the bottom, as you guys can see. The gauges, they respond very quickly once you switch it to something different. There's an auto hold function here. This center armrest here is going to be nice and padded, nice red stitching there. Open up this, it does reveal a decent amount of storage in there. The seats, like I mentioned, they're unique to the actual Sonata inline here. You cannot get this on any other trim level besides the inline. I love the way that they feel, very aggressive seats. I love the red stitching and red piping. There's the N badge here. And above me, as you guys can see, there's this large panoramic sunroof. No, some other competitors in the segment do not offer a panoramic sunroof like the Honda Accord. And there is LED lights throughout the cabin. But looking at the glove compartment here, it does offer a lot of storage in there. But overall, I'm very impressed with this cabin. I love this quote-unquote black on black interior, but to me, it looks like a light gray. And I love the Mercedes-like interior in here with the 2 digital display screens. But let's hop into the back seat of the Hyundai Sonata inline. Getting into the back seat here of the Hyundai Sonata inline, as you guys can see, I kind of have to duck my head just a little bit because of the sloping roofline that this car has. And as you guys can see here, I do have a decent amount of headroom here, even with this large panoramic sunroof. And some of the other competitors in this segment do not offer a panoramic sunroof. But looking down here, Hyundai said you get around 34.8 inches of legroom here in the Sonata inline. As you guys can see, I have plenty of foot space underneath the driver's seat, and this is where I have the seat to drive. There's some features back here, which includes rear air vents, also with 1 USB charging port. And surprisingly, the floor back here is not flat, but you can sit a middle passenger here if you would like. And I love the suede Alcantara inserts here. The seats back here feel very plush and very comfortable. There's only 1 map pocket back here for storage. And looking at the door panel material, it's gonna be a nice soft touch ejection molded plastic. There's more of that red stitching here, additional storage and cup holder space. Pulling this armrest down here, it does reveal 2 cup holders. Let's talk about the powertrain specs here for the Hyundai Sonata inline. Open up the hood here. This uses Hyundai's 2.5 liter 4-cylinder as part of their Smart Screen engine family technology. This powertrain makes 290 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque, around 1600 RPM. Fuel economy for this 4-cylinder is rated at 23 in the city, 33 on the highway, and 27 combined. If you guys don't like those fuel economy numbers, I would recommend going for the hybrid model of the Sonata. And this also uses Hyundai's in-house design 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission. This is the same powertrain that's sampled in the Kia K5 GT. And unfortunately, you cannot get all-wheel drive here on the Sonata inline. This only comes standard with front-wheel drive. You cannot get all-wheel drive at any price point because Hyundai does not offer that. And as the Sonata inline sits here, it weighs around 3,300 pounds. So So starting off in the Hyundai Sonata inline here, this is the most powerful production Sonata that Hyundai has ever made. This has their 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. This makes 290 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. And this is the only car in the segment besides the Kia K5 GT to have launch control. None of the other competitors offer launch control in this segment. In this car here, this car will legit get up to speed really quickly, and the tires were kind of grabbing for grip because this car does not have all-wheel drive. Keep that in mind. If you guys are looking to buy this car, it does not come with all-wheel drive. I'm not sure why they don't want to sell you guys the all-wheel drive with this car. Maybe to keep the cost down. That's what I'm thinking. But we're gonna do the launch control here. Very simple how to do it, if I remember correctly how to do it, because it's been a while since I drove the Sonata here. But you put the car into a Sport Plus mode and you turn off everything here. Okay, foot on the brake and accelerator. Yeah, I just left 2 black lines in the road. This car has a horrible time putting the power down, and there is a little bit of torque steer from the Sonata here, and surprisingly I'm surprised to feel that from the steering wheel. But it's not bad that the car is trying to pull me to the left or to the right. But personally speaking, this car gets up to speed really quickly, and Hyundai says 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds. Very impressive 0 to 60 time here. And let's just hit this turn here. No, this car is horrible with trying to put the power down. But let's turn back on the traction control, because if you guys were to keep doing that, you will burn out your front tires. And this does have that wet dual clutch transmission. 2nd gear. I think the dual clutch is just super responsive hooked up to this powertrain. I love the way this dual clutch performs. Like I mentioned, this is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. Fuel economy, if you guys want to know, is rated at 23 in the city, 33 on the highway, and 27 combined, which is not bad fuel economy. But if you guys are looking for better fuel economy, Hyundai will sell you a hybrid version of this car. Even with the traction on, the car is kind of still fighting for grip just a little bit. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this car does have a limited slip differential. But this car needs all-wheel drive. Maybe Hyundai should just do a limited edition when they offer all-wheel drive with this car, just for a short period of time, or even sell a car with low volume, maybe like 1,500 units with all-wheel drive. But that dual clutch, man, that dual clutch is just super good. And this car, it screams performance. Like, this car is really good at what it does. It doesn't put the power down good, I can tell you that right now. It does not put the power down, but it does a really good job of doing what it's supposed to do. It's basically be a performance family sedan. You can put your family in here, you get decent amount of legroom. We get around 34.8 inches of legroom in the back seat, which is really good. It's not class leading. The Honda Accord gets around 40.4 inches of legroom. So like I mentioned, not bad legroom, but in the real world, it does feel very large and very spacious. The materials in here are really good. I love this 10.25 inch display. As you guys can see, it does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, of course. I love the large 12.3 inch digital display here. You cannot get this display on the Kia K5 GT, so keep in mind there is some features that you can get on the Sonata that you can't get on the K5, and vice versa. And the seats in here, they're very aggressive, but I wish, once you put the car in sport mode, I wish they would tighten up just a little bit more. I'm not squirming around in the seat, but they do feel really good. I love the way the seats look. They're unique to the inline model. This also has red stitching and red piping on the seats. But just because we can, we're gonna do one more launch control before we head back. It's already in the Sport Plus mode. I'm gonna turn off the traction here. Foot on the brake and accelerator. Oh, it's not gonna let me do it. It's not gonna let me do it. But keep in mind, guys, you will burn through tires if you have a heavy foot like myself. But just putting this car in normal mode. I'm sorry, I clicked too many. I clicked the drive mode too fast. But putting the car back into a normal mode, it kind of simmers down just a little bit, but you still hear the exhaust. It doesn't make any crackles or pops or any burbles or anything like that, but it does have a nice unique sound to it. I'm a Ford. I feel like it's more responsive in the Sport Plus mode. In normal, it kind of dims down just a little bit, but once you put it in this normal mode, the car has a nice ride to it still. It is not harsh, it doesn't beat you up. The steering feeling is very playful. You can feel what the front tires are doing, but this car is just really good at what it does. The driver's assistance is really good. I love the highway steer assist. It does let you know that when it's available. It does light up green here in the gauge cluster. But this car is just really nice. I love the way this car looks. I love the Mercedes-like interior in here. You have these two large screens here. One of the largest screens in the segment. No other competitor, if I'm not mistaken, offers this 12.3-inch digital display. So I think that's unique to this car in this segment. But I can't complain. Visibility is good, the technology is good, the driver's assistance is good, the performance is out of this world. That dual clutch transmission, one of the best transmissions in any midsize sedan car that I tested. I love the Honda's 10-speed automatic, but it does not have the I can't even get the words out. It doesn't even feel up to par with what this dual clutch does. This dual clutch is just on a whole nother world. It's just super fast to shift, very good shifts, up and down shifts. But if you guys are looking for a performance family sedan, I think the Hyundai Sonata Inline is a really good option. Starting price here for the Hyundai Sonata Inline is at $33,450 with the options and accessories, including destination. The Hyundai Sonata Inline here stickers for $35,044. Hope you guys have enjoyed this review here. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Drive1Reviews and hit that subscribe button. And I see you all in the next review. Yeah, this car needs all-wheel drive.